Alexander Heyman, a renowned writer, once quoted, "Home is where people notice you're not there." Sometimes life demands of you to swallow the bitter pill that people who meant so much to you, you found out the hard way that you meant nothing to them. You need to look at this situation as people that were once available to you entirely are not available for you anymore. You know what this means. This means that now no one is able to distract you with the drama unless you invite those thoughts yourself. And simultaneously, you are unaccountable and unavailable for anyone else's drama. This isolation from people and noise and drama is important, even if it was you that caused the drama which resulted in you being left abandoned and lonely. Now let's establish that being lonely is different from being alone, and these both are different from being silent. When you are lonely, it's the best place to train yourself to be alone and enjoy your presence and to be present in your own company. Being alone is not lonely at all. Being alone means you still have a very social life, which is in your control. You don't allow anyone to distract you, influence you, or even compliment you. These three qualities are very important, and also you want to remain alone, as in no partners at the moment until you have completely established your own values. And that's what we will speak in this session today. And then in the next session, I will speak to you about how to take what you have learned from being alone and shift that talent into adapting silence. And that is where the power is. Let me tell you that loneliness is the single most important experience to go through in order to fully avail the powers of being alone and then constructing to a stoic personality by instilling silence. Silence in speech and silence in thoughts. Okay? Today we will address and repair your loneliness completely through these 4 steps. Number 1, how to discover freedom through loneliness. Number 2, using curiosity versus being judgmental. Number 3, resonating strength from a position of isolation. And number 4, the power tool to ultimate success. Okay? So number 1, how to discover freedom through loneliness. Loneliness could have hit you for various reasons. It's happened. You're here now. So what you must do here is not try and reach out to old relationships and old friendships. Simultaneously, you must not try to build new ones. Not now. You are exactly where you need to be in order to train yourself to live this life the way it was meant to be lived, the way you entered it and the way you will exit it. Solo, free-spirited, with no care in the world of what's going on around you. You must take this time to practice being alone and enjoying your own company, discovering new sides of yourself that you never knew existed. You will be surprised to learn so much about yourself when you remove everyone and all the conversations and noise and distractions around you. That's where you will be able to start hearing yourself. You may get annoyed with yourself at first, but then you will start finding humor in your flaws and you begin loving yourself, laughing with yourself, watching out for yourself. This will all lead you to motivating yourself and then disciplining yourself. And then your runway to greatness is clear for takeoff. And so the next time you realize that there is a world outside of you that exists, you will tread very carefully because now you are your own best friend. And so you'll always make the right and cautious decisions for yourself. These steps take time and patience to be done right. And I have covered many sessions under the playlist Level Up, okay? So don't be afraid to be alone. Look forward to it. This is where your life starts. You can pack your bags and be wherever you want, achieving all your dreams. The less people you must interact with, the less drama you are exposed to, the healthier your mind will remain, and the more you will accomplish for yourself in this life. That's the goal. Number 2, using curiosity versus judgment. Walt Whitman, the great American poet, wrote, "Be curious, not judgmental." It's when people think that they have everything figured out is when they pass judgment. Looking at a person or observing their actions and believing you have enough evidence to come to a conclusion about them, that's not healthy. Ask questions if you feel things are odd about someone. Understanding people is important. It's a good thing. You begin to become curious about yourself as well. You begin understanding and correcting yourself. You should not judge anyone because you yourself never know your own story. You will keep discovering yourself until your final breath. Remember that judgments are final, so be curious instead. There's growth in that. And number 3, the strength isolation will teach you. Be the person who shows up completely unwavering wherever you go. Resonate that energy of having everything under your control. Have a smile and be one of those whose life has nothing wrong with it. Nothing can bother you. Yes, you are the same person right now who sits alone in silence, staring out the window or at the ceiling while laying in your bed. And while all this is going on, while you are completely motionless, fighting yet one more dissenting thought from entering your mind, the thoughts that crush, destroy, and kill the will, because loneliness through abandonment does this to people, but not to you. You show up strong and awake and ready to motivate. Never give up on being alive. Your presence needs to be felt, and it can be felt in so many ways. You must do it not for standing out, but rather for being assertive, confident, and the person who is always ready. Ready to rescue anyone. Ready to rescue from sadness, ready to rescue from loss of hope, rescue from loneliness. That's the goal. And number 4, the power tool to ultimate success. If you understand what I'm about to tell you, if you truly deeply feel this, if you truly value and work on what I am saying and take this advice sincerely, then you won't need to be frightened of loneliness anymore, because loneliness will be afraid of you. Loneliness will know it has no power or no control over you or your actions or your emotions. And that happens when you completely eliminate all the requirement for noise, all the requirement for cheerleading that you crave must be finished. The validation and affirmation and attention that you crave must be finished. Terminate that requirement and watch how your life will turn around forever. Just work on this consciously. There is so much subconscious power in that, and believe me when I tell you this. Let me tell you this, if you haven't realized it, then please wake up to this reality that you have no one coming for you. No one's got your back, my friend. This is probably the worst moment of your life, and you must wake up and be painstakingly present. The thing of being alone, it's not that you feel like you have no one, but it feels more like no one has you. And that's worse. When you have that feeling that nobody has you, it's a crushing feeling, because when you have nobody, it's fine. It could be your choice. It could be that you don't have time or a desire for companionship. And if you wanted somebody, even for a chat, they're still available. There's still a chance that someone will respond. But when nobody has you, that means you don't exist anymore. That's a different kind of loneliness. There is no meaning of your existence or presence anymore, or for anyone. There is no value you can add to any person or any group. That's where the rabbit hole of loneliness is going to take you. And then there is the silent treatment that you may be receiving. That creates a combination of confusions or no true clarity of what the accusation is exactly. It creates emotional regret along with rejection. It creates uncertainty of self and dispositioning of true emotions that may have once existed in that relationship. This is dangerous. This reassures the receiver that their feelings no longer matter, and it creeps in feelings of deserved abandonment, shame, and regret. That is the reality of the person receiving the silent treatment. The person inflicting the silent treatment can be doing so intentionally or unintentionally. However, the result on the receiver's end is the same either way. And it is here, while you are going through this constant neurosis roller coaster, it's important not to become the victim. Life's not fair all around, sometimes with you and sometimes against you. But don't be the victim based on the treatment you are receiving. You need to accept all this while being unwavering in the mirror. Be alone and discover yourself. In the end, only you will know the inwardly violence it took to become outwardly this gentle. This is why you need to be alone and be your best when you are alone. That's the goal. Find peace in being alone and be patient with your pain. What is patience? Patience means long and silent suffering. This is a good thing. This is where you grow. Accept the fact that you have been given up on and now you only have your own back. So work on yourself and take full advantage of this place you are in at the moment. Level up, and believe me when I tell you this, a few of the old doors will start opening again. The absence of the energy that they were receiving from you will not be containable by them anymore. The noticeable changes in you will start attracting old kinships again. However, if you want to walk through those doors, if you want to pursue them or not, will remain your choice from here on. Because being alone, put your own happiness and your own well-being first. And until you don't feel you are ready enough, you will hone the responsibility not to mess anyone's life. And vice versa, you will not allow anyone to mess your life anymore. So teach yourself to be alone. There is so much power in that. You will start accessing peak sensations of understanding of things, of objects and colors and sounds that previously were never there. Imagine that. Even if you live in a big city, you start hearing sounds that connect you to a sensation of freedom. You will feel all this when you really start enjoying your own company. You know you are in the best place you can be right now. This is where the silence begins. And when silence begins, understanding elevates. When understanding elevates, thoughts and actions become accountable. Spend time with only yourself and watch yourself grow so much that you will become unrecognizable. So much so that you will be put back together right in front of the people who tore you apart. Whether you want to look at it from a karmic or a spiritual or a coincidental point of view, I will tell you that you can speak to any psychologist on the planet, any, and they will agree that they rarely come across people who are suffering that have not somehow brought it upon themselves, be it through malicious or ignorant actions. This world revolves around in a circle just as we do. What goes around comes around. So let nature take its course on shaping you. Ignore the situation that you have been ignored. Know that being alone doesn't mean being lonely. It means having control over your time and your life. Push yourself every day to enjoy being alone, to understanding yourself more. In the next session, I will talk to you about how to move from being alone to being selectively silent. And then from there, you can watch how your life begins rapid repair. Be safe, be positive, and keep making the wise decisions.